Welcome to another edition of Chris Wrestling League is here on YouTube.com. So today you guys are going to be doing Brother Tori and I are going to be doing the SmackDown review, excuse me. I told you from my last video that he was going to be here with me today. So SmackDown opened up the show with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jay Uso. So before the match, Shinsuke comes down, have his old entrance music. Doesn't have the his heel type one had all the people singing in it and everything. So he comes down and calls Jay Uso, Roman Reigns, a little puppet, but you know what he actually meant. So as the match went on, Cesaro finally returned on SmackDown. He talked about his match that he was going to have against Daniel Bryan, but then again, he was so focused on thinking, about about his friend Shinsuke and why Jey Uso was looking at him and all that stuff. Um, so basically Jey Uso hits the super kick, goes up for the splash, but Shinsuke Nakamura ends up putting his knees in the way, and then that's when Jey Uso rolls up Shinsuke but have his feet on the ropes. But referee Charles Robinson seen that Jey Uso feet was up on the ropes, so he waved off from the timekeeper from ringing the bell. Then Shinsuke Nakamura ends up doing the King Shaska, whatever that thing called, and picking up the victory over Jey Uso. So in my opinion, I would give that match a 3.1. What do you got, Jatori?
Uh, I give this match a three even on the simple fact I'm getting sick of this overpowered roll up. I say over and over, Jay and Jimmy, even though Jimmy ain't fighting right now, that frog splash cost them a lot of matches. They need to come up with a submission or even another move to go with this super kick
I,
because the frog splash cost a lot of time to get it set up.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I give it a three even.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. With that splash on going on the top rope does take a lot of time, especially, not to get off topic, but the same thing with Jeff Hardy and his swan time. It takes a lot. But Jey Uso could have like a submission to where when he does the super kick, he can catch him. He can catch him. Do a move like the like a reverse tight, dang, like a some type of headlock thing or something, but have it in a reverse position, and that'd be something different as well that Jey Uso could do instead of always going up to the top rope for the splash, killing himself really. So yeah, good match, all that. Um, well, no, okay, match. Backstage, got a little thing that went on back there. Adam Pierce and Sonya were talking. Heyman walks up, talking about the contract that was prepared by the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman. Takes the contract to Adam Pierce from Roman Reigns. So after that little backstage segment, then we had another backstage segment which included Montez Ford talks about the Dirty Dogs. They're wanting the smoke, which they're basically wanting a rematch at their WWE Smackdown Tag Team Championship. So I guess we could talk about the Montez Ford versus the Dirty Dogs in the rematch. And we probably know that it'll take place around the Royal Rumble. Will the Street Profits win their SmackDown Tag Team Championships back from the Dirty Dogs? In my opinion, I think so.
Um, in my opinion, I believe it's going to be a nice feud, a nice battle, and I believe the Street Profits will pull through, and it's going to be a back and forth battle, just like their Street Profits last battle that they had for the tag team titles. So I like this storyline that they have going on.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives Bobby Roode, a chance to actually be on television and not have to just sit in the back and, waiting for someone to, give him a match, get him a match. So, with Dolph Ziggler, helping Bobby Roode in his career, even though Bobby Roode's been in a different promotion before, winning tag team championships with his partner, um, Cowboy James Storm. Uh, I mean, it's just a good, it's a good opportunity for them right now. So hopefully they'll, you know, keep on going with this little feud that they got with the Street Profits, and we will definitely see where it would go from then. So pretty cool. Um,
Like you
the-
said, it helps both of them because Dolph Ziggler was kind of in a rut and he was kind of put in some bad storylines, but at the same time, people seen his position that was put in the company and seen his potential that he had. So now he gets to show his potential and what he had in the past and what he could still do with in the future with Bobby Lee. So let's see how this goes.
Yep, we'll definitely see when that match is going to take place. Possibly it's going to be at the Royal Rumble because they had two matches that was announced for next week, and we will get to that later on in this review of SmackDown. We had another backstage promo thing with when we see Apollo Cruz in Roman Reigns' locker room, and they were talking. You really couldn't hear what they were saying, but mainly I could, if I had to take a guess, it would have possibly been about some tactics of what to, I guess, what to do as a heel, probably, or something like that. I don't know, but I think you probably caught what they said, the Jatori. Um, but so Heyman comes in there, of course, and Heyman said, "Hey, I'll come. Hey, I'll come back." And then, well, no, Apollo Cruz said, "I'll just come back." And then Reigns said, "No, you stay." And then Heyman and Roman Reigns starts to talk about the contract of Adam Pearce wanting a no disqualification match. So Roman Reigns said he's not signing that, but he tell Paul Heyman to take this contract, and that the contract states that Roman Reigns wants a last man standing match um for the Universal Championship. So, and he wanted Adam Pearce to sign that contract in the ring tonight, along with him, Paul Heyman, and Jay Uso in the ring, sitting at the table. So on this little segment right here, Reigns of course chilled as usual, not having to wrestle. Only time we've seen Reigns wrestle lately was at a pay-per-view, and that was basically it. Or he may just beat someone for about 5 minutes or less, and that's it. So it was a okay second. But the surprise though was seeing Apollo Cruz in Roman Reigns locker room talking to one another.
Yes, that was now that was a surprise. I was like, when I seen that, I was like, hold on, what's going on? But at the same time, I was like, I noticed that Apollo been changing a lot, so I kind of took it as in, well, Apollo's gonna be turning heel real soon because I've been predicting that he was gonna turn heel.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. Right, because with Apollo, I mean, we seen him when he was on Raw. He was all buddy buddy with Ricochet, coming to save Ricochet from Retribution and all that. Then he get dropped to the SmackDown. Don't get, he fought Lashley and all that stuff, but didn't actually get, book like as usual, and always was just like a superhero type person like Ricochet.
right. So I say I kind of see when he got kind of pushed by Paul when Paul seen him back there, and when Roman said to Apollo to stay, Paul is seen in his eyes that Roman likes him. So you might see a little bit more out of Apollo around Roman.
Right. I
And
mean,
in the next couple months or next couple months or maybe couple shows, you might see him around trying to get more bias out of him to get more heel tactics, and you might see him pulling more heel moves out of him, either a little cheat here or a little something evilness. And you might even see him come help Roman
yeah, I
out of
definitely
some
think we're
matches.
I definitely think we're gonna see that. Of course, we're definitely gonna see that. Um, so they had a match after those three backstage segments and all that. Um, we seen Natalia with Tamina versus Liv Morgan with Ruby Riot, and Billy Kay was on commentary. Billy Kay was just talking about, of course, nothing. And Natalia ends up rolling up Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan was distracted. So it was the distraction roll up type thing. So on this match right here, I have to give this match a 2 out of 5 stars.
I would have to give it a 1.5 because, like I said, I hate the most overpowering move in the world, the roll up. I did not see no technical moves, and it was really disappointing to me because I remember there was a time when Natalia, when she first came in, she reminded me of the Heart Foundation, and for somebody to come from the dungeon and to represent the Hearts, they book her so bad that they disrespect the Hearts. They disrespect everything that the Hearts are made of. So they put her in the most odd matches that it's almost like they do it on purpose. So it like kind of hurt in a way. If you came from my era or came from my era from watching the Hearts, from Owen Hart, the uh,
British
literally
Bulldog.
any kind of the Hearts that was part of the Hearts,
Yep,
from
British
the
Bulldog, Davey
Bulldogs,
Boy
the
Smith,
Bulldogs. I'm serious.
Owen Hart.
Uh,
Well, I don't know. I'm
Anybody
not
that
saying.
was part of the Hart Foundation, it's disappointing to see that from the Tyson kid got booked like this, and you look at this new generation of the Hearts getting booked like this, so sad, and it's like, why is Vince doing this to Brett's kids and uh Davy Boy Smith kids and family
What I really think is that they're basically doing this because of that Montreal thing that
I think it's I actually I and I'm going to literally just say I think it's because of what happened with like you said the Montreal screw job. I think it's literally comes down to what
it,
happened between with Bret Hart leaving the company, going to WCW, and then Owen Hart did not family did not want to sign over the rights.
right.
Plain and simple.
Then it was
For
like,
because forever when when he left the WCW, then Owen Hart's wife did not want to sign over no rights to WWE's and then Vince never forgave that. He and I think he held that to the very day because you gotta realize the whole family left the WCW at one point. One point they all left the WCW. As soon as their contract came up, they all left. And if Owen Hart had a chance, he was gonna book it to WCW. He just got signed into another deal. He just got signed into another deal. And I believe that's exactly how it went. He got signed into another deal thinking that he was gonna be able to win a championship, and then Vince McMahon screwed him out of that.
wow.
And then he Owen Hart decided, okay, well then I'm gonna screw you guys. So I believe that's how it went. So like I said, but we're gonna keep it on the facts that everybody know, and we're gonna keep it to tonight's show. But we know Natalia is a better wrestler than what she is,
Yeah,
and
the way they book her, yeah.
yeah, we know that she's a better wrestler because I remember when she first came in, she was a great wrestler. They gave her championships, but that was when I don't know what's going on, but that was when there was a whole different uh uh TV script or scripting back there. Now it's like totally changed, totally changed. When it was the Attitude era back there, yeah, Natalia had chances. Now it's like I don't know what they doing. Got no idea what they doing.
Nothing.
I'm gonna leave it as
All
that.
right, so next match that we had was Rey Mysterio with Dominic on commentary versus King Corbin. Rey Mysterio, of course, got distracted because King Corbin, you know, bumped or hit um Dominic, and Rey Mysterio was checking on Dominic and ends up getting hit with the end of days. Um, so that match right there, you can see it coming. I'll say I'll give this match a 2.
I'm gonna give that match. It really wasn't even a match, but I will give it a 2.5 on the simple fact it was because I love Ray. I love Ray. I really don't I don't like Cora.
Yeah,
I see a I
yeah,
see the storyline.
Ray
I see
been
what kind of
Ray's been
storyline they got.
wrestling. Ray's been wrestling since 1989. I seen when he debuted in WCW.
Right.
That's a
And
long
I see
time.
what kind of storyline they got booking, but what it is I think this is Ray's last run. Just to be honest, I think this is Ray's last hurrah. This is goodbye show.
Right. I definitely
I think they passing the torch to Dominic.
Yeah, I can completely agree because not to get off subject or anything, but we remember when the Undertaker started in World Wrestling WWF back in 1990, and Rey Mysterio's in WCW in '89, and that is a very long time to be a part of a wrestling company, and still wrestling today, and it's 2021 now, all the way back from from then till now. Dude, that's a very long time. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm surprised that he's still wrestling now. I would have thought that he was done back when he left WWE.
And you gotta realize this is a little man, and he what is he, 5'8", 5? Man, he ain't more
No,
taller than
he's
that. He gotta be
I
five
believe
ten.
he's 5'4".
He's 5'4". Yeah, did so. Yeah, so yeah, and he wrestling a tall man. He wrestled the Undertaker, who's what's Undertaker, 6'9"?
Undertaker 6'10".
Okay, yeah. So
That is
these
tall.
ain't no little. These ain't no little men. And
And I can't believe
man,
he stood up against a 7'3", 420-pounder Khali before in the
and I
five
want
in the 500-pound Big Show. That
and
is
I'm gonna tell you, when he was in WCW, he got slingshot into a tractor trailer that busted his whole head open by Kevin Nash.
and
Yeah,
oh
there's
oh yeah, what about the time when Rey Mysterio was on the I know most of you all remember this, where Rey Mysterio was up on the when he was in a stretcher match against Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar threw his whole body on. He was like he was connected to the little gurney bed type thing, and Lesnar just threw him like he was a frisbee. I was like,
right. Right. So I mean, he been in some crazy matches, and a lot of people don't. Some people remember, and then some people don't. But he been in some amazing matches, and then people are remembering now these Royal Rumble matches, and that when they say, "Oh, he a long lasting match," he was in the most long lasting match in the Royal Rumble history as a little man. The most. That's why they say. That's why people be like, "Wow, this dude's a little man, and he beat all these contestants like Kane, the Undertaker, Mark Henry." People got to give this man some credit. This is, I mean, you gotta. I mean, you could say, "Oh yeah, wrestling is fake and yada yada yada." You still gotta have stamina. You still gotta understand. You get slapped in the chest. You get a lot of times people make mistakes. You get your head busted open. Kevin Nash didn't mean to bust that dude's head open like that.
"Jeez,
I mean, I mean, he really got his head busted open. They really had to take him to the hospital.
hmm,
That was some real life stuff. Kevin Nash was really sorry about that because he really got his head busted open.
that's crazy."
They really had to take his mask off because they didn't know that it was Rey Mysterio that got his head busted open. They thought he was a thief.
Oh, that's what happened in that segment then.
Yeah, yeah. They had to take his mask off because they thought he was a thief. And Kevin Nash threw him up against the. they picked NWO picked him up, threw him up against the tractor trailer.
Yeah,
And then everybody came running out into the back parking lot, and it was Rey Mysterio in the back parking lot. So they called the ambulance, and they found out it was Rey Mysterio. So they had to pull his mask off, and it was like, it's Rey Mysterio.
I'm gonna actually. I did not see that, and I'm actually gonna have to check that out, and I'll put this link down below, you guys, so you all can check that out as well. So backstage after that Mysterio versus King Corbin match, we seen Adam Pearce talking to Paul Heyman about what Roman Reigns said, and Paul Heyman basically told um Adam Pearce that Roman Reigns doesn't want, no disqualification match. Why would you put, the tribal chief in that kind of match? So it ended up being to where Paul Heyman basically told Adam Pearce that Roman Reigns wants a last man standing match and that he was going to have to sign the contract in the ring per the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And then Paul Heyman, uh, you know, said, "Well, I find this handle," and walked away. Another backstage promo, well, another backstage little segment, I should say. Was Dominic was telling Mysterio that that he that Ray can't stop, right now. And we gotta put a stop to, King Corbin, and they're probably gonna have some type of match or something next week, probably on Friday Night SmackDown, but they did not say. So shows going commercial, comes back on. We had a in ring promo segment, whatever you want to call it, with Ding Dong Hello, Bailey's new show in the ring where it has a door and then it has a little sign saying Ding Dong Hello on it. And then Bailey, is behind the door, and Bianca Belair was their guest. They talked about Bailey asks Belair why does she call herself the EST, and Belair explains why, and so on and so forth. So Bailey said she wants to have a obstacle course type thing next week with Bianca Belair, and then that ends that little promo. Then we had another backstage thing go on where Otis and Chad Gable and Daniel Bryan are doing these little squat things or something, and then Cesaro comes up and said, "Well, you really think that's gonna work, against your match tonight?" And yada yada yada. And so show goes, the commercials come back on. Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. I have to give this match right here a 5-star match because it was the only good match on the show. Daniel Bryan, well, Cesaro hits, Daniel Bryan had his feet up and Cesaro flipped up on him. Then Cesaro ends up, hitting his head backwards in some kind of way. I can't really describe it. I think Jatori probably could describe it as better than I can. But the closing of the match was Daniel Bryan was trying to, kick Cesaro, and then he kicked the ring post instead, and hurt his leg, but he ended up still fighting. Um, so Cesaro hits the neutralizer, had blood like on his actual head. Then the camera backs away and then it zooms back up. And then, he didn't have no blood on his head. So I kind of find that pretty weird. But that was a great match though. As for the show. So I'm gonna let Jatori say what he has to say about this on SmackDown with that Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro.
I thought it was a okay match. Now, as far as a heated, I think it would be a pretty good heated feud if Daniel Bryan didn't look like, it seems like he already giving up. Now, like I said, it kind of looks like it's his last hurrah. Like after the Royal Rumble, this is going to be his last hurrah. It almost seems like I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Um, I want to vote for him, and I want to push, uh, say that okay, WWE is gonna push for him to win the Royal Rumble and be a surprise winner. It's just the way that I want to say his energy of his face. it kind of surprised me. But then again, it could be like one of those surprises that WWE loves to throw at you. Okay, well, I lost like 4 or 2 matches or 4 matches, but I do that last win on at the pay per view and or WrestleMania. Yay, I won, and then you know lose the next pay per view, and then I quit. Maybe it's that, but it just to me it was just kind of stupid because I personally I know Daniel Bryan's better than Cesaro. Cesaro just ain't that kind of wrestler to me that okay, well, I would vote for you. I'd rather have him wrestle Sensei again and would put Cesaro against Jay. I wouldn't. I kind of didn't like the booking. Like I said, I would put Cesaro against Jay, and then put Sensei against Daniel Bryan again because now that was a great match. But I rate this match as far as wrestling, whew, a 4.
Okay. Good, good. We had another backstage segment, whatever you want to call it, you guys. Because there were a lot of them throughout the show. I think I done read like 7 or 8, and here's one
Whew.
more. Sasha Banks and Carmella are backstage and all that good stuff. And Carmella says she wants a match, with Carmella's whatever you call it. What's that guy's name? Or the guy that
Uh, what's that? I don't know what they called.
I really
Well, the waiter, his waiter, her waiter.
well, yes, her waiter. Sasha Banks wants a match with Carmelo's waiter, I guess you can call it that. Um, so she can have another chance at the SmackDown Women's Champ. So Carmella can have another chance at the SmackDown Women's Championship. So we'll more than likely see this match at the Royal Rumble in 1 week. So after then we had a match come up, which was Apollo Cruz versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn comes out with his little critic people and all that, and still wearing that "I still am the Intercontinental Champion," which is a little weird, but uh, I know but I know it's a gimmick though. Um, so Sami Zayn tried to win by holding, you know, Apollo Crews tights, but the
Do you
referee.
know he still wears that shirt on Twitter?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind. Yeah, I kind of figured that. It's kind of I can understand it's a gimmick, but it's kind of weird. Because I actually think he's not doing it really as a gimmick, but he actually doing it like in real life. So basically, Zayn ends up trying to cheat by holding Apollo Crews tight. The referee catches him. After then, Apollo Crews ends up you know ends up winning the match by roll up and still holding the tights, but the referee didn't see when Apollo Crews held Sami Zayn tights. And so actually another thing, Big E was on the outside, and this is kind of funny, you guys. Big E had a couch, a mini refrigerator with some fruit in a bowl. I'm like, what in the world is this? I'm like, this is not lounging with Big E. Like this is not one of those little in ring things like Bailey Ding Dong Hello type thing.
And you know what? I think that's where it came from. I think it originally came from the Bailey show.
Gotcha.
I
So
think I'm not sure, but I think it really was supposed to be on the Bailey set, but they couldn't get the couch on it. I'm not sure.
that's
um,
that's that's probably true before they brought the live television back on. They tried to do that, but they just left it right there for Big E. But on that Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn match, I would have to give that match a 2. Simple fact is because Sami Zayn and Apollo Crews, we already know Apollo Crews is turning heel in full. So they didn't want Sami Zayn to, pin Apollo Crews, but they want Apollo Crews to have some momentum to, defeat Big E when he has a match with him again. So, so next week, so I'm gonna let Brother Tory, uh, tell his, his prediction. Well, not his prediction. Excuse me. God dang it. His review over this Apollo Crew versus Sami Zayn match.
I, it was just, it was predictable. It was just predictable on who was going to get a win, who was going to get a loss. Uh, like you said, we knew who was going to cheat. It was just predictable. It was just the only thing was who was going to cheat first. Sami Zayn tried to cheat first. He got caught. So Apollo took the advantage. The funny part was Corey said he did the roll up, and like I said, the overpower roll up is just Corey added. He did the overpower roll up with a handful of tights with it, and you can see Sami Zayn's butt crack.
Bro, sis.
And he stuck his hand in his butt crack. And Corey said it too. And Big E was laughing. Big E had was cracking up.
That's what Big E was laughing at. I was really wondering. I was really wondering what Big E was actually laughing at, but we definitely see what happened now. Okay. Appreciate for that.
Yeah, he was like, your butt crack showing, bro.
Wow. Next week, you guys, two matches have been announced as well, and I probably said this first match, which is Bailey and Bianca in a obstacle course type match. Next week on Friday Night SmackDown. Also Biggie versus Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship match was announced as well. Before this last part, I'm about to tell you guys that Roman Reigns come out first, of course, with Paul Heyman, his cousin Jimmy. Well, it's not Jimmy, Jay Uso. Pierce, was looking nervous. Comes out to the ring, looking nervous, and he gets up and walks like his leg, is like it's hurt or something, like he done tweaked like he done hurt his ankle or something like that. But Pierce said, he's the WWE official, and he had to find a suitable replacement, for his match because he said that his leg, when they give out, it's not like it used to be. So he kind of played it off a little bit, not too much. It was predictable, but with that, we seen that Kevin Owens returned and Adam Pearce had the contract book open and Kevin Owens signed it. And then Roman Reigns was looking very looking very like, wow, this guy won't ever like looking like Kevin Owens won't ever give up. I don't know, we gotta do something the way he was looking. Then Paul Heyman had the shock look on his face, like as usual. But Paul Heyman knows the ins of outs of WWE itself. So
On these last ones, I want to say one that Bailey, that Bailey obstacle course. That's literally the stupidest booking. I don't even know why they made that. They must don't have nothing else to do.
that's for 4 year. That's for 4 year olds.
One thing because they've been booking the EST as the most athletic wrestler that they got. So why put Bailey in there? So she must gonna be cheating, or it's either she gonna cheat, or the EST gonna automatically win.
So it could be a possibility that Bianca Belair and Bailey are gonna be the last two in the Royal Rumble. Speaking of that, and Bianca Belair is probably definitely gonna throw Bailey out and get a title opportunity at either Asuka or Sasha Banks, whoever is champion at the time.
And I remember, oh, you owe me a pizza because I remember predicting KO was gonna come back.
Oh man, come on.
No, I'm kidding. But anyway, uh, but yeah, you know, tonight that was just predictable. Just like I said, predicting. When you predicting, that takes the joint out of the wrestling. It was too predictable. Because one, you gave everybody too much time and leeway between Kevin Owens getting injured when he got thrown off of the little Titantron thing. KO loves that kind of stuff, jumping off of stuff, getting hurt, and then showing back up within with a week or so. Shoot, he broke his ankle when he got jumping off and onto Shane McMahon, and then he wrestled the next week. You really think jumping off those screens hurt him that bad where he wasn't going to show up to WrestleMania? You really think people wasn't going to fall for that? I
No,
literally, when everybody told me that, I literally laughed that day. I said, no way I was going to fall for that.
yeah, it was not even a surprise, you guys, at all.
I literally, all I had to do was think about that. I was like, I remember when he jumped off the top of that screen on the Shane McMahon and showed up the next week and then wrestled 2 weeks straight. Ain't no way he ain't gonna show up to WrestleMania. Ain't no way. And then gonna tell us he wants to jump off of Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers,
Stadium.
yeah, their stadium onto another wrestler. This dude's a hardcore he reminds me of Nick Foles.
Yeah.
I'm serious. He reminds me of Nick Foles back in the day. Nah, you probably put him on the top of a steel cage and he'll probably still. Mm-mm. He reminds me of an old hardcore wrestler, ECW. Paul Heyman probably talked him into this.
I think so. But, I mean, with them two gonna be fighting at the Royal Rumble instead of Scrap Daddy AP Adam Pierce. Instead of him fighting, it's gonna be Kevin Owens, you guys, versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship, and we will definitely see what's gonna happen next week on Friday Night SmackDown regarding this. And so I really do appreciate you all for tuning in here on Chris Wrestling Views with Jatori and myself. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you guys hit that bell. Follow me on my three platforms on the right hand side of your screen, and we will see you guys in my next video, which we're gonna see what we're gonna be talking about next. But it definitely will be some wrestling news, of course.